Hello and welcome back, fellow soldiers. The dev briefing number 67 just dropped today, and we're gonna have a closer look on what developer Max is going to tell us and what they are presenting in today's or this week's developers briefing. So let's jump right into it. In the beginning of this week's developers briefing, developer Max is talking to us, the user base, with a personal message that is concerned with the topic around the current corona crisis. And I don't want to talk around what he said, I'll just give you his exact words. As many of you may be aware, Black Matter is fortunate in that our remote working policies mean that the effect of coronavirus on us from a business and development perspective is incredibly minimal. We have put in place contingencies should any of the team become sick, but we consider ourselves incredibly fortunate that nobody at Black Matter falls within an at-risk category. The team is all hard at work, smashing through as many bugs as humanly possible while balancing out the coming overhauls and content. We feel that over the next couple of months, the quality of Hell Let Loose as a title will be drastically improved for the better, and we're very excited to finally reveal what we've been cooking up. Despite the turbulence in world affairs, we're very optimistic and excited for 2020. There are so many new features, maps, weapons, customization options to come, as well as optimization and bug fixes. Now, so much for the message concerning the coronavirus. Of course, the development team, the developers team around Max also has to cope with the coronavirus crisis. And I know even though we all now have a lot more time to stay at home and game Hell Let Loose, we should also have more understanding for upcoming issues in the coming weeks or even months that don't get fixed immediately. Until now, the developers team has made very good work with bug fixes and updates and stuff, but even them are not immune against the coronavirus, and they are also a company that has to watch how they are continuing to work with that coronavirus being around. So just think twice in the future, or even thrice. You should do that anyways. If you find an issue, a bug, just report it on their Discord, on Steam, or even on Reddit, and they'll surely work on it when they find the time to. Now, in this week's developers briefing, coronavirus is not the only point that is being talked about. Of course, it's just a smaller portion of the developers briefing, because as we are used to it, the developers briefing also brings some new insight on what is coming for us. And for that, the devs give us a little insight on what the team is currently working across. And this means, for example, that there will be 3 new maps that they are currently working on, and in the devs briefing they write only one of which is set in Normandy and is nearly entirely urban. So it kind of sounds like they want to apologize for that they bring another map that is being set in Normandy. In my opinion, I always liked to play in Normandy. I always enjoyed the maps there. But yeah, just so you know, there's another map coming that will be set in Normandy, but that will be entirely urban. So that will be very cool. Then they are finalizing TPP and FPP overhaul, and also work on an entirely new ballistic system that we already heard of, but that also takes a huge portion of work to do so, and they'll also include bullet penetration to the environment, or a part of the environment. That will also bring a lot of change to the game. Next up is a map overhaul on one existing map, where they do bug fixing, drastically increasing cover and a visual upgrade, and try to give us a far more interesting experience. They will also implement new commander abilities that we've already talked about a little bit in the dev briefings before. They will implement new loadouts, new weapons are being made, they are still working on that, and they'll also implement Recon vehicles, as you've probably heard in the last few developers briefing. And with all that said, they'll also give us a sneak peek at a new Recon vehicle. We've had one previous Recon vehicle that was presented to us, and now we get a second one, and that one is called the Puma ST KFZ 234. And that one you should be able to see right now on the screen, looking very lit, very cool design, and of course we also get some background information to it. For that they say the Puma is the key reconnaissance vehicle for the German forces in Hell Let Loose. Much like its Greyhound counterpart, this vehicle will provide valuable frontline reconnaissance and useful firepower against soft targets. Thanks to its lightweight armor, powerful V12 diesel engine and independent suspension for each of its 8 wheels, the Puma was a highly mobile, hard-hitting Recon vehicle. This made it ideal support for multiple German Panzer divisions, not only as fire support but as a key relay on information to the rest of the column via their radio communications kit. And as in the developers briefings last week and the week before last week with the Greyhound, they also are pointing out that these Recon vehicles' firepower will be useful against soft targets, and they won't be a new tank coming into the game that will be superior on the battlefield. This will be a very, very, very light tank, if you want to call it so. And to that they also say that the Puma is not invincible to mines, bazookas or AT guns or bigger armored vehicles, and that the drivers should look out for dangers like that. But the Puma and also the Greyhound, as already mentioned in last week's developers briefing, will be providing cover from small arms fire and machine gun fire, and that is very important for ground troops, and I think the Greyhound and also the Puma will be a very nice and also tactical addition to the gameplay. And to finish this week's developers briefing off, the devs say that they will be explaining exactly how the Recon vehicles will function in the very near future. So in my understanding, that will probably be in one of the next or the week after that coming devs briefing, and they'll also be taking the opportunity to introduce their new vehicle spawning mechanisms that will also change the gameplay a little bit, I hope. And they'll also go over the new crewing options in both Recon and other upcoming vehicle variants. So guys, that's been it for this week's developers briefing. If you want to have a look at it, I always include the link to the Steam developers briefing down in the description. If you liked the video, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and share the videos. And if you are still here listening to my soothing voice, I just want to say, in times like these with the coronavirus around and my medical background, I really want to advise you that you should limit your contact with other people, may it even be just your friends and your parents. If you are living in an apartment away from your parents, just don't go visit them for the next few weeks, just to protect them, to protect elder people. And always, always, always focus on hygiene, wash your hands. Also, when you are playing on the PC or wherever you are gaming from, stay healthy, everybody, and I'll definitely see you on the battlefield.
On my way. In the field, yeah.